Hi, I'm Gary Striegler, and I'm excited this morning to share with you a project I've been working on. It's like the best part about my semi-retirement is I get to work on all kinds of interesting projects. I had a friend contact me, and they had a space that had a two-story house, had a lot of hot air going upstairs, and they wanted to see if there was some way they could put a door there to kind of close that off a little bit. And I remembered that Custom Service Hardware has come up with this track system where it looks like a barn style door, but it's actually kind of a bifold because they didn't really have room for a door to swing. There wasn't any way to put a pocket door in there, and there certainly wasn't room for a full-sized barn style door. But using this hardware, and this plate mounts to the top, this runs on a track and it pivots there. So I'm making two doors like this, and when they'll close about a 34-inch opening, but then when they stack back against the wall, they're going to fit right back against a cabinet that's already there. So it's a great solution. But yeah, I did say 34-inch opening, so the doors had to be custom. Also, by the way, they wanted glass in the top. So, it's one of those things I really need to do. Comes to my mind right now. I'm afraid I might forget it later, so I want to share. Anytime that you build a door that has glass in it, you need to get safety glass. That's glass that breaks into little bitty pieces, tempered glass, not just regular glass. One more thing, the way that you know that is it usually is going to have a little sticker right down in the corner. But if you're really, I'm going to say really picky, but if you don't want to see that little sticker, you have to remember when you order the glass to tell them you don't want that, and they're going to give you like a letter that says this is tempered glass, but it doesn't have the sticker. At least in where I live, they'll do that. And that's a little bitty thing, but it came to my mind, so I wanted to share it. So this door, now there's probably 3 or 4 different ways that I built custom doors, but I actually went back kind of to my roots to the very first way I ever built any custom doors because it's the simplest way, and because this was both a barn style door that was going to bifold and that they were fairly small, I felt like I could get by building these the quickest way possible. And the way that I do that is I take 2 frames, very much like you'd make a cabinet face frame, pocket screw them together, which makes a really quick but also very fast joint, and then I glue them back to back. Again, it needs to be make sure it glues back to back on a flat surface so that the door ends up flat. Now, one other thing, these are going to paint, and I made them out of beech, which is a very stable wood. Could have used maple also, but I really like the beech, and the people where I buy my lumber were kind enough to let me look through the pile and get ones that laid flat. If you're going to do this type of project, you probably need to do that. I probably wouldn't use poplar because it's not quite as stable. I would want to go through the lumber, or if you got a whole bunch of lumber, you can just pick through for the flattest ones. And again, make sure you glue it up on a flat surface, and it does take a lot of clamps, but you can even borrow clamps from your friends if you needed to. Anyway, from that point, what I want to do is I'm going to move this door aside, and I'm just going to show you a little bit about how it goes together. The first thing that I want to share is, when you glue 2 frames back to back, you're probably not going to get them absolutely perfectly lined up. You do want to be very careful when you're making those 2 face frames to have your layout as close as possible to exactly the same. If the frames have any kind of even the slightest bit of bow, what you want to do when you glue the 2 frames together is put them to where like that, to where the bows are in the middle, and then suck them together as you clamp them, and they will counteract each other. Then when I get ready to assemble this, it might still have a little bit of bow, but that's okay as long as on the 2 doors, I make sure, you don't want one bowing this way and one bowing the other way. Just line up if they got a little bit of a bow to them. But anyway, what I wanted to show is when I glue these two frames up, there were a couple places that didn't line up perfectly. So I did make sure that I got all the glue off, and I used a rag to get as much glue off as possible while it was still wet. But then I just used this 3 carbide cutter flush trim bit in the places where good thing that's DeWalt tough. Where one part of the frame might have hung out a little bit, I'd ride the bearing on that and then it would flush trim it. It did leave a little bit of a round in the corner, so you just have to take a sharp chisel and square that out. But after that, the first thing you need to know is how thick is your glass going to be. This frame's about a little over 1.5 inches thick. And so I had to come up with a stop system that was the right thickness. Now, this panel's 1/2 inch MDF. You know, I could have used several different thicknesses, and it could be plywood too, but the 1/2 inch MDF worked well for me. The glass is going to be 1/4 inch thick, and you need to know what thickness the glass is because you want your panel centered in this space or close to centered in that space. And I've got, you can probably see it best down here, about 1/8 inch of step back, and you want that to be pretty close on these two. So what that meant, it's a great thing to use 1/4 round as your stop. Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's the anatomy of the door right there. Molding inside there, the panel goes in, and then another piece of molding comes in from the back side. But the thing I wanted to share is when you use 1/4 round, it's really easy to slightly adjust. If I can get these two to line up, maybe I can do it right there. Oh boy. One is about a strong 1/16 bigger than the other, but when it's 1/4 round, you don't notice that. About any other type of molding I'd use for a stop, you would have seen it. I just made one slightly bigger than the other, and so it worked out. So this slightly bigger one is the one that I'll use up here for the glass stop, but I was able to keep the same reveal. And I think I got my pocket. Yeah, one of the things that's critical, this molding is just held in place with headless pins, but I use this Craig multi-mark and set it. It's actually just a tiny bit over 1/8. So as I was putting the molding in, I was able to put that multi-mark there, just slide that molding over to it and nail it in place. So what I've got, that one's almost ready for glass. This one is I need to finish the molding, put this in. One last thing I want to mention, make sure when you get your painter to paint, if you're building a door like this, that you have them paint the back side of the stop, because when you look through that glass, if they've just painted the face and they didn't paint that back edge, guess what? You're going to see raw wood, and that is not a good look. So this is kind of an old school door deal for me. I've gotten kind of long-winded, but it is a great way, the fastest way I know to build a door, as long as you take a few precautions. And how many times do you need a special size door? A whole bunch in my career.